Welcome, everybody, to Authors and Dragons. Now, normally this is the point where we start saying our names, our characters, and Joe starts making up books that we all wish he would write. But we're doing a little bit different this week. We're doing an interlude because, well, we're not entirely sure we're gonna be able to keep everybody because, well, let's be honest, the weather kind of sucks out there, and some of our infrastructure sucks even worse. Anyway. My name is Rick Gualtieri, and I am joined today by Drew Hayes, John Hartness, Joseph Brassey, Robert Bevan, and Steve Weatherall. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Yeah, if anybody didn't know I'm from Texas, that is...
It's all Drew's fault.
It's been a week. It's been a week.
It's all Drew's fault. Everything that's going wrong is Drew's fault.
I should follow that up by saying I am okay. I know there are definitely a lot of people who are not, and I don't want anyone to worry. I am one of the lucky ones in that I have been through inconvenience more than deep cost or personal tragedy, which a lot of people have been through the snowstorm. So yeah, it sucked, but it absolutely could have sucked a lot worse.
There you go.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear it say, hi, I'm Drew Hayes, and if you hear some sounds in the background, it's because I'm sawing off my legs.
It's like if you hear banging on the door, it's just the hordes that are trying to break in. I did raid their food stash, but in fairness, they had food I wanted.
That crackling sound in the background is my entire community breaking up all of their dining room chairs and building a bonfire in my den.
God, give me an excuse to break up my fucking dining room chairs. I hate those things so much.
Opportunity lost,
man. That sound in my background is us breaking up my dining room furniture only because I have kids.
I have like an inherited dining room set which like works, but like, oh god.
But like Rick, as
it.
of today, you officially have one fewer kid, not because he croaked, but because he's old now.
Yeah, I have a 21-year-old, which just makes like there is literally at this point dirt in my yard that looks at me and is like, "Fuck you, old man."
He's 21 years old now. He's a man, which means it's much easier to break furniture.
Or we came up with a better one. Is like, yeah, like it's kind of sad when they grow up, but it's at the same time I'm like, you know, if I want something from the liquor store, I don't have to go get it now.
And the weather sucks. So...
Go out and get me booze, Sonny.
Yeah.
You're my drizzly now.
This time we had a father-son talk. Not now, 8 pints later. Come on, we're going to the pub. We gotta lay some wisdom on you.
You know, when I turned 21, I actually went out for my first official beer with my dad to the local McMenamin's pub, about like a half a mile from our house. And when my dad was a traveling nightclub musician in the 1970s, and basically I had grown up with all of these like funny stories about shit that happened when he was in a nightclub band. And then when I turned 21, we went out for drinks, and I got the real version of all of those stories that included the drugs.
Oh, Jesus. All right, Joe, you're a man today. You're going to learn man lessons.
Yeah, my father went to his grave not having any idea what the hell happened on my 21st birthday. He was not in the same zip code, thank God, because he would have killed me.
God, can you imagine that? It's like, oh, son, now that you're a man, let me explain. Remember when I missed your 10th birthday and I told you it was a flat tire? I was actually burying a hooker in the desert.
Oh, God.
So Rick was watching my 21st birthday party. God damn it.
So are we, should we tell them what we're doing?
Yeah, we're gonna do an interlude tonight. I mean, we are gonna answer some questions that are on the Discord and stuff, but we're doing something a little different, something we haven't done since our very first recording.
The one we lost.
Yeah,
actually.
scratch that. Nobody heard
that we've never done before, thanks to our ineptitude.
Yeah, it's chopping mall. It's gone.
I don't think we did that shit.
But anyway, we're all in a Roll20, and we're doing a little character generation tonight.
And the reason...
But why?
For the folks at home, why are we doing this?
Translation, folks at home equals folks in Bevan's home.
Oh. Yes, Rick, why are we doing this? Could it be related to some potential future side quest limited run project?
It might be. I mean, our listeners, who are awesome, by the way, are always saying, hey, what if you tried like an alternate game, or hey, what if your characters did this, or somewhat, and
Sounds like they don't like our podcast.
fuck you
guys.
people listening. Yeah, and sometimes it's like, hey, wouldn't it be great if you got different authors instead of you guys?
Maybe you
Well, tough
find
shit
some
on that one.
don't suck.
Well, that's what Calamity Janes is for.
Calamity Janes, what Authors and Dragons would sound like if they were prepared for any adventure ever and knew how to operate their character sheets.
But yeah, anyway, at an unspecified time in the future, we're thinking of branching off and taking a little, dare I say, side quest from.
Yeah, we should emphasize this will take up side quest slots. We're not going to pull from main game for it.
And also, there have been a couple of times throughout the podcast where we didn't know if everybody was going to live through an episode. So that raised the question of, well, what would you roll up if your character croaked? And then some also true. Yeah.
So now we get to blow that wad and have nothing in case we croak.
It's all about blowing wads.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wad quest.
What quest? Nice.
So in case anybody's wondering why I'm the one like introducing the podcast tonight, and everybody's saying, "Hey, Rick, do you want to do these things that you should know?" Let's just say I'll be taking over as GM for this thing, so you get to hear a little bit of my bullshit instead of Drew's.
That means I get to play in this one.
And the level of fuckery Drew has planned for Rick is what the rest of us are really, really looking forward to.
Oh my god,
Yes.
It's going to be so much payback.
I am super excited for my
Imagine
character.
starting a game and somebody decides to play as Silas Kane. You can't not take that personally. There's got to be some revenge element to this.
See if that happens. Unlike Drew, I'm smart enough to just TPK your asses.
Well, do we want to take a question, or someone want to talk about their character concept as we start working on our builds? How do we want to go?
I want to take a minute and promote my new release, since I released a book today, motherfuckers, and
Oh, congrats!
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Ooh.
Probably should do that.
yeah, so let's go through our random bullshit and talk about the things that make us a living. So I'm John Hartness, and I will not be playing Fendingo the Feathered or Fantastical for this campaign. I'll be doing something completely different. But more importantly, today, as we're recording, I have launched the newest Bubba the Monster Hunter novella, and it is available in all ebook formats as long as they're on Amazon. And you'll be able to get that in print starting, I don't know, depends on how late we play, whether or not I lay out the book in print tonight or not. But within a couple of days, you'll be able to order it in print. And this novella kicks off the long-awaited, often requested Bubba Quincy Harker Demon Hunter crossover. So get out there and buy that shit. And after that, go pre-order the Bubba the Monster Hunter audiobooks on Indiegogo, because I have a pre-order going for 3 Bubba audiobooks that will release at the end of March. So any money you have left over, give it to the next bastard in line. But for now, go buy my shit.
Hi, I'm Joseph Brassi. I normally play the role of Bjorg Bjornsson, Enthusiastic Barbarian. I have another concept in mind now, which I will talk about when we get to that. I am the author of I was an author on the Mongoliad books. You can get my novels Skyfarer and Dragon Road from Angry Robot Books, anywhere books are sold. And I don't have a book that I am the not author of because I'm working on too many fucking things right now. So half of which I can't talk about. Yeah, go buy my shit so that I can make more of it.
My name is Rick Gualtieri, as I've mentioned, and yeah, I'm going to let Joe. I have a whole shitload of things in flight right now, but what I'm working on right now to hopefully get out there soon is you might soon be able to pick up my stuff in hardcover form. If this works out, you'll be able to pick up some of my stuff in hardcover form. If it doesn't work out and I run into some snags, let's just forget we ever had this talk. People in the future. But hopefully when next we chat, you'll be able to buy one of my books, and then when you wing it across the room, you can really put the dent in the wall.
Hello, friends. My name is Robert Bevan. Well, I guess I'm just Robert Bevan, the Notorious Rogue, right now. I will be making a different sort of character soon. I write the Caverns and Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories, starting with the first book, Critical Failures. I also write very many of the Shingles books. The next one will be coming out in March. Go get it.
Hi there, I'm Steve Weverall. I normally have the pleasure of playing Brandon Firemaster, but today I'm rolling up a new character. You already know who it is. I write such books as the Doomsayer Journeys with Falstaff Books. I've recently released Brandon Firemaster and some other guys with co-author E.M. Kaplan. We should be able to get some signed books available soon, so keep an eye out on Facebook for that. Follow either myself or E.M. Kaplan if you would like one. We'll let you know when they're available. And also my latest Shingles release, Valley of the Sex Dolls, is available to buy.
Hey everybody, I am Drew Hayes, and for once I am not the shit shepherd of this sheepflock. I am just a player of a character who is yet to be named. But in other worldly things, I am a writer. I write books such as Superpowers, NPCs, Fred the Vampire Accountant, 5 Minute Sherlock, the latest of which, The Case of the Haunted House, is available on audio, and Villain's Code, the latest of which, Bones of the Past, is available in print and ebook, and audio will be coming out on March 30th.
Cool.
Well,
feels weird, right?
I know. I have a pretty good question to start us off with. If it's both heartwarming and kind of allows us to suck our own dicks.
Hooray!
If I could do that, I'd never leave home.
Finally.
Wait, I already never leave home.
Our friend Lamplighter asks, how does it feel knowing you're personally responsible for creating an online community that has helped many of us stay connected and feel less alone during an unprecedented global disaster?
Pretty great.
You're welcome again.
I mean, I hadn't really thought about it in those terms, but when you put it like that, it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've said before, like, if A&D is the thing for which I am ultimately known for, that would not be a bad thing.
It's better than so many things I could be known for,
Oh,
including the entirety of 1992.
I mean, I don't think anybody was doing great that year. Nobody was making wise choices.
I mean, there are pictures, so I was around. I just don't remember anything.
Well, at least there was no internet.
Thank
so
God.
The merciful times.
The before. No, I mean, it does feel great, and it's awesome to see what that community has grown into, because it's certainly not like it exists wholly because of us. A lot of the people who've taken the time and really worked to make it great are the people within it.
I don't know, guys. I was on the Discord earlier, and there's like 3 pages now of people talking about combat musical instruments. I don't know if this is good for any of us. I think we might be all going slightly mad.
Never mind, burn it down. Yeah. Burn it all the fuck down.
But I enjoy that aspect of it. If you're going to go slightly mad, it's a great way to do it with battle accordions and whatever you weirdos are talking about.
The true mark that something has grown beyond us into like a true community, like run by the people, is the fact that like at any given time, one of us can go on there, one of the founders of this, and write a comment, and people will just ignore the fuck out of it and continue their discussion.
Well, you shut up. We're talking about combat kazoos.
You know, a kazoo, a combination kazoo blowgun it's like just a kazoo, isn't it?
Oh,
the
God.
kazoom!
They've got to you guys too.
I mean,
Whatever.
my character does have a guitar that shoots daggers out of it, so...
Now, see, I already came up with a name in the Discord for a comeback guitar. It's called a guitar. I was ridiculously proud of that one. I hope some listeners at home appreciated that. You fucking ingrates.
Speaking of ingrate, I am still unable to suck my dick.
Never give up, Bevan. Never give up.
Who's the ingrate in this scenario? Is it you or your dick?
Me? Oh, both.
When we all die, like, most of us are like, here lies so-and-so, was a member of Authors and Dragons. Here lies Bob, finally managed to suck his own dick.
Died doing what he loved. You know.
He didn't have many stipulations in his will, but he wants to be buried in a really specific way.
I didn't get on here tonight looking for this. It was promised and not delivered.
Sometimes you have greatness thrust upon you, Bob.
Thrust.
If ever there was an argument against like open casket funerals,
Oh, God.
or for
If you do it right, the casket won't close anyway.
If I'm dead, it doesn't have to be all that horrific. Just cut my head off and stick it on there.
Yeah, that's much less
That's not horrific. Yes. Come, family. Come see. As instructed, we chopped the head clean off and buried it on the cock. Just right on the cock.
Could he have even closed his eyes? No. Specifically said he wanted his eyes open.
And looking up, so that anyone who looked at this had to meet his gaze.
This is getting horrifyingly specific.
Well, that's what wills are for.
I mean,
This is great because while we talk, I'm fiddling with the point buy.
I'm taking notes for the next shingles.
God.
Jesus.
Are we gonna talk about our new things?
Sure.
Anything to get us off the current topic.
oh god,
Well,
I've
I
already
think
hit my first failure. I was unable to upload a portrait.
Dude,
and that is a loss for everyone because we've seen the rest of us went a different route for creating tokens on this one. Bob made his own, and it is all the better for it.
I've seen that portrait. I can't decide if that's a natural 1 or a natural 20 that you can't upload.
That's 100% a nat 20.
I'm just saying, I entered my name, but next step was a fail already. Does not bode well.
Well, that's a good start. It's a great start.
yeah.
It bodes.
Normally,
It just bodes. Yeah. Average boding.
Boating.
Joe, what are you going to play this time around?
I am gonna play an Oath of the Ancients paladin who smokes a shit ton of pot, and his name the Oath of the Ancients, for anyone who doesn't know, is basically a nature guardian, nature-themed paladin oath, and his name is going to be Cal Hashwood.
Because of course it is. So is this
Absolutely.
is this like a love child of a paladin and a druid?
Yeah, kind of. It's basically a paladin with some druid-themed powers. They're very tanky. They've got some stuff to resist. Magic. I think at like one point later on, they get resistance against magic attacks, in general.
What is, just judging by the name Cal Hashwood, what is like the bonuses towards frisbee golf or hacky sack?
That depends on just how blazed he is.
And can he get me Dave Matthews tickets?
Oh, good question.
Let me look that up.
Gotta look that up. Gotta put plus. Well, he's got good charisma, so I imagine, yeah.
I went to a Dave Matthews concert once. Even live, I couldn't understand a word he said. I've never
Probably for
seen
the best.
anyone live who sounds more like an adult in a Peanuts comic than Dave Matthews.
Speaking of weird experiences, John, what character are you rolling up today?
Well, since I've been playing what ended up being primarily a spellcaster for 5 years and change. I'm playing a halfling Way of the Sun Soul monk. So purely, I was going to say purely non-spell slinging, but then I picked a monk that shoots anime ray blasts out of his fists.
So you're a
As
Dragon
you
Ball
do.
Z character.
Yeah, 100%.
Fuck yes.
Mo-
He's got to scroll for an entire episode.
I gave him a two-tone mohawk and everything.
I invented the way of the many fists specifically so I would never have to do anything complicated.
Oh,
But you've picked a monk, and what have you done? You've gone for the most complicated thing. I imagine you have to remember things, and
I've done it even
What have you
worse. Even worse. Because since we're starting at level 4 for this campaign, I picked a feat. So I picked Shadow Touched. So my Sun Soul monk has been shadow touched by the forces of darkness, and now he can cast invisibility and inflict wounds.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, because a monk with a melee spell attack that can deal 3d10.
I mean, you're a gnome. You're already pretty scary. I mean, nobody wants to be punched in the cock by a gnome.
Right.
But now it's like one who's shadowy and inflicting wounds.
Yeah, that'll make your dick fall right off, man. 3d10 damage right to the cock.
Did something
Exactly.
just flicker into existence and punch me in the penis? Again?
When you're a gnome, the space between every human's legs is pretty much your own personal punching bag.
I mean, it's all taint all the time, man. That's all it is.
I believe that was a Pratchett quote. Not what you said, John. That was far more poetic than your average quote. Yeah, when you're a dwarf, your teeth are always at groin height.
Yeah, that does sound like Pratchett. And that's why I gave him the mohawk, so if he walks between a particularly tall person's legs, a little tickle as you go past, you know? A little extra.
Oh, that's considerate.
Yeah.
I think we're going to change his name to Alphonse Taint Cleaner.
Judging by his attack abilities, I won't be calling them that.
Yeah. Inflict wounds. Where? Where do you think?
It's the only place he can reach. Using that scrotum like a speed bag.
Inflict ball rot.
Yeah. So I really wanted to play a martial character, and then I wanted it to be super ridiculous. So I was like, all right, badass gnome it is. So that's what I'm doing.
Sweet.
Kick ass.
Now, we have gone years and years without ever seeing what kind of ridiculousness Drew Hayes will cook up when given free reign and a D&D Beyond account. So, Drew, what are you bringing to the table?
Well, since John is slacking off and just punching stuff, like a nerd, someone else had to pick up the slack. And that someone is my Warforged Sorcerer, Metallicazam.
Nice.
I should have
fuck
uploaded
you.
my...
But you can call him Zam for short. He's going to be a very fun one. I went with a Divine Soul Sorcerer, which is a particularly fun aspect to me mechanically and as an RP option, because mechanically it allows you to be a sorcerer who draws spells from the cleric list, which is very handy. And there are some other nice perks as well that definitely come in useful from it. But I also really like the idea that the subtext for it is that you have some sort of connection to Divine Realm, and some sort of thing that is pushing you to claim your divine heritage and tap into it and etc. And I just really like the idea of someone who wants no part of that but is kind of stuck with it anyway.
A robot programmed to find God. This is going to
like-
get existential and terrifying.
It's a robot sorcerer who suddenly started hearing a divine voice speak to him. Now, is he crazy? Is it actually God? Who knows?
But what I like is the character portrait. You got to share it at some point. These big staring eyes, like all he does at night is just walk around and look into people's windows to see them fucking.
You know what's funny? The character doesn't sleep.
Just staring
So-
into the void.
Every time we make camp, that's going to be the face that you wake up and see looking at you.
Why would someone program me to believe in God?
Oh, it's worse than that. He believes he is supposed to become God. Or at least that's what the voice keeps shouting at him.
Well, we should all listen to our terrifying inner voices. That's what Dungeons and Dragons is all about.
It's Metallica Zam, the son of Sam.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
On the subject of fun wordplay, Steve, why don't you walk us through the one that I think most people would probably be expecting?
Yeah, probably familiar with the name. I've mentioned it a few times. Stan Dandeliver, gentleman bandit and professional folk hero, coming out of retirement to reclaim his wild youth. I'm playing a rogue, level 4 rogue, I've decided that I don't want to go too far away from a monk not playing as efficiently as a monk should, so I'm going to play a rogue in the least efficient way as possible. I'm playing as a swashbuckler.
Good luck.
High charisma, high dex.
Now, the bar for inefficient rogues is set pretty goddamn high.
I don't even know how Bevan manages to be as inefficient as he is. His stats are really good. He's got mad dex, and yet he can't aim a fucking crossbow from behind a rock. It's like
Years of practice, Steve.
it's hardcore. It's like the universe wants you to roleplay your terrible character.
It's also like it's hard to aim a heavy crossbow with one hand on your dick.
Yeah, it's just the dice.
I mean,
Just putting that out there.
that's what I imagine the sharpshooter feat is really about.
he's aiming something, just not his bow.
It's probably not going to hit you, but if it does, you're going to regret it.
Oh, God. So, yeah, he's taking the swashbuckler, which is not great. I think the ideal position for a rogue is away from the combat with a bow and arrow. But that's not my character's style. And I've taken as a feat at level 4 the defensive duelist to really buy into that playing a rogue how a rogue shouldn't be played aspect. So, yeah, I'm going to have a lot of fun buckling some swashes, etc. with my inadvisably out of retirement former Robin Hood style character looking for glory and or a quicker death than old age.
Well, that leaves only one person.
Oh,
left to
God,
introduce
help us.
theirs.
Oh dear.
It was my understanding that we were going to be creating our characters like now. So it seems everyone else has chosen a lot more stuff than I have. I did choose a class and a name, and I even drew a picture.
Oh God,
Jesus.
it's horrifying.
Fucking Christ.
That has to go up on the,
Oh,
That
it'll go
on
up.
the TeePublic store? Yeah. That has to go up on the TeePublic store.
Does it though?
Fuck
Does
yeah.
it?
With
The eyes kind
our
of follow you.
fans?
God, can't look at it.
it at least has to go on the Facebook.
But at least, but you also can't look away from it.
Oh,
Like Drew, I will be a sorcerer. Unlike Drew, my name will be Sorcerer the Sorcerer. I am still on the first page of the D&D Beyond, so I have my name, and I haven't gone beyond that.
You haven't gone D&D beyond that.
Oh, nice.
Well, you've got that terrifying. You look like a children's entertainer that shouldn't be allowed near children. So you've got that.
That's exactly,
Has
yeah.
something
That
cut
is
all his fingers off? Has Jorcerer been in some horrible industrial accident?
I drew fingers.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
How many do you
Five
need?
fingers on each hand. I think. I gotta go look that up again.
I could see this game going in about 5 minutes. Metal Kazam searching for God meets Jorcerer and realizes, nope, he doesn't exist.
And Alphonse meets Metal Kazam, and he's like, not punching those balls.
Ah, the world is empty and powerless. I truly am God, and I must smite it.
Cal just looks around and says, "Yeah."
There you go. One of us has got a positive attitude, at least.
Well, while Jorcerer is like, hey, little boy, would you like a balloon animal?
For all his alleged issues, Jorcerer has a positive attitude. Look at that smile.
Oh,
I can't look away from it.
Do I have to?
That's the smile of a man who's pulled a rabbit from a hat, but instead of a hat, it's his anus. That's what that's.
Hello, Fred. My name is Jorcerer. I am here.
And I am much more comfortable now that I don't have a rabbit up my butt.
I am going to do some sorcering.
Ugh.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's a smile that said, I stole somebody's underoos, and today was a good day.
Oh dear. Once again, we find ourselves in some kind of adventure outreach program.
Should we take a question at this point?
I mean,
I
we
think we need
all
to.
have so many
Yeah.
questions at this point, but gonna take a while
All
to
right.
explore those.
Our friend Distraction, okay, Distraction, asked, have you tried any of the alternative meat products, i.e. the Impossible Burger, Beyond Burger, etc.?
Oh, I thought he meant like dildos. I'm like, no.
The Impossible Dildo.
I'm holding out for lab-grown meat,
I've tried pork.
but just pork.
Just regular
The
pork.
other white meat, isn't it?
I knew
don't think
exactly
you
where you were
understood this.
going. I knew I was there. I'm like, God damn it.
Wow.
All right, I'll go because my kids wanted Burger King the other week, and I was looking for what to order for myself, and I saw one that was like Beyond Cheeseburger, and I was like, oh, it's Beyond the cheese. I wasn't even thinking. I was like, Beyond the Cheeseburger. I'll try this. And I get home and I'm like trying it, and I'm like, this isn't really Beyond the Cheeseburger. It's a little weird. I'm like, it's not bad, but then I realized, oh wait, Beyond Burger. Oh, I just bought myself one of those fucking things.
Oh.
They gotcha, Rick. They
But
gotcha.
the reality was, it wasn't bad. It doesn't taste quite like a regular burger. Like, I noticed immediately there was something off, but I couldn't say, like, I tasted and then immediately, wanted to puke it up, or at least not worse than anything else I might get at Burger King.
Yeah, I mean, how much? In the majority of kind of like highly processed food, how many animal souls really went into it? Probably not that many.
Yeah.
So if you're just into like animal souls, you shouldn't be eating fast food anyway. You should be going out there, punching a cow to death and eating it from the inside
It's kind of
out.
like we replaced the sawdust with cellulose.
Outside of the game, have you ever punched a cow? Those things have really fucking hard heads. I grew up out in the country, man. I mean, shit.
You got
I
to
ain't
punch
punching
it
it.
from the reverse. You got to punch your way into it and then eat your way out of it. That's the only true way to really enjoy meat.
We call that a Texas State Fair.
Okay, let's see here.
I haven't tried anything that was any less meat than I normally get at a fast food restaurant. So, I mean, I've had a McRib.
I have an issue with someone saying like a vegan steak. It's not a steak. But if you're saying a vegan hot dog, it's like, oh sure, well, I don't know what's in a fucking hot dog. It could be anything.
Yeah.
They should just call it a compressed salad.
I call that a turd.
Oh, you mean this hot dog's made entirely of weird vegetable fats and sugar? I don't know what it was made of before. Just put it in a bun, put some ketchup on it. Stop bothering me with your fucking science. It might have been a cat before. I was still going to eat it.
I mean, honestly, I think that's still aiming pretty high for what's in that. What's in a hot dog?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't tried any of these. I won't unless even if somebody else is paying. Because when I go to Burger King, yeah, I'm spending some money, and I don't want to spend it on something I'm not sure I'm gonna like. And even if someone else was paying for it, I'm still spending that like experience eating food, which I would like to enjoy. So no, if somebody,
Yeah.
all right, there are two choices. Or two ways that I would try this. If somebody was paying for it and that's all they were willing to pay for, and I was really hungry, okay, fine. Or if somebody said, "Hey, I bought this for me. Do you want to take a bite just to try it?" Yeah, I'll do that.
You forgot the third option. If somebody got you really drunk and said, "This will be funny as fuck and we'll put it on YouTube."
Well, I mean, that's kind of the first option.
Monetized.
No, I'm just saying they're still paying for it, and they're limiting my options to that because me eating a Whopper isn't very funny, or maybe I don't know. Me eating a non-Whopper isn't very funny either.
We don't know.
We'll be the judge of that. Thank you.
Let the people decide.
Okay.
I mean, we got some pretty good mileage out of Steve and Taco Bell.
We did get a lot of.
I understand. No, I 100% understand that. If I'm going to a place like that and I'm spending money, I know what I like. I'm probably not going to be experimental unless I'm a dumbass and accidentally order the wrong thing.
I will say, bringing up the Taco Bell option, it's like that is the fakest meat I've ever eaten.
Oh, you need to come back to America, and I will take you to the QT, and we'll get roller grill hot dogs, pal.
If somebody said, "Oh, I've managed to perfectly replicate Taco Bell beef with sawdust and sugar," yeah, I'd believe them, and I probably wouldn't notice.
Oh shit! I should actually get back to work on my character.
We are the tedium of typing out racial traits.
I thought you were gonna,
My head went somewhere completely different. I was like, whoa, what the hell?
Dude, get off Twitter.
Well, I didn't say anything.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, no, this is all mine.
I will steer us out of this skid real quick. So, what was it that drew you to your particular class choice this time around? Like, what feature or aspect just you were like, this seems really cool?
I came up with the name Jorther the Sorcerer a long time ago.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that was it.
Like, I love versatility. Like, the versatility of being able to cast from different stuff, I just find really, really cool. So, that was kind of what brought me in.
I honestly really dig the combination of nature-themed powers and like divine paladin-y powers. I mean, paladin is kind of my normal go-to when I'm playing outside of the podcast, but I haven't done this one before, so this is a flavor I haven't tried, and I God, some of this shit is dope. I still need to choose a background.
I think we're just going straight back to using that nutsack like a speed bag.
For me, it's purely RP, to be honest. And, well, it's a mixture of RP and laziness. I'm still not entirely great at multitasking and talking and thinking at the same time. And I'm still not that experienced in D&D. So a rogue seems like a kind of a safe choice. A swashbuckling rogue, an even safer choice. And I don't know, I just have a personality in mind. When I think Stand Dandeliver, there is just an instant kind of personality that comes to mind, and I think it will be fun to roleplay. So I'm just going to basically build my stats and capabilities around that role-playing potential.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a pretty cool ass fun concept. I get
Basically,
the appeal.
I just want to be a dick, Drew.
Somebody has been trapped in the body of a cat far too long.
Yeah, I was to say, in my case, I think it's because I was the only one dumb enough to get, when Drew put out the concept, I was the only one dumb enough to be like, give an unenthusiastic, well, yeah, I guess I could run something if you really wanted me to.
That's pretty much how every DM becomes a DM, Rick. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, in any gamer group, it really comes down to who's going to break down first and be like, well, unless somebody else wants to do it, nobody else ever wants to do it. You shouldn't just say that because you've automatically raised your hand and said, I'm the sucker who's going to do this shit.
I think the only, times I've seen someone who, did really want to do it was when someone had, a new concept or something they wanted to test out.
Yeah, and that usually crashes and burns.
I
was at a gaming convention once, and somebody was like, "That's like, yeah, I really wanted DM because I had this new adventure," and then we pretty much just gave him nothing but disdain for 2 hours.
Who could have possibly seen that coming?
I tried riding through a town, and the guy was so proud of this town. He starts reading off every single store and the description as we're passing by, and I'm trying to say, I don't care. We're just riding through the town. Yes, but then you pass the blacksmith who's manned by this character, and I was like, I close my eyes and I and I basically smack my horse so it goes faster.
Fuck your descriptions.
Damn. It's like the first episode of The Janes when Rachel had all those maps created, and we were all like, "Oh, you sweet summer child."
Oh, that was.
Well, we're glad you prepped for the next 6 months.
Yeah. You have a lot of faith in the speed at which a D&D party will progress. Arguably far too much.
Although last week in my other game that I'm running, I put together I put together what I thought was going to be at least a month and a half's worth of stuff, and each map, I guess this was my my their revenge. Or the universe's revenge against me for showing that other guy such disdain. They pretty much were just like, we're not going to do anything here. We just leave.
Just like, fuck this thing.
Yep. How dare you roll on roll 20?
Kill him! Kill him!
Are we supposed to be on roll 20? I thought we were building these on D&D Beyond. What? God damn it.
Well, you also have to transfer them to roll 20. Because you can't play off of D&D Beyond.
That's where the skill element of this podcast comes in.
I'm choosing my skills.
Yeah.
Don't forget to make them 4th level.
Well, I chose 4th level as my character, so whatever. I get to choose 2 skills.
Yeah, we're starting a couple levels higher, so so
we can fucking do something.
My poor nature doesn't get the better of me, and I just say, kill you all in one shot.
I mean, D&D Beyond is a very fun and balanced system, but let's not pretend that first level is truly comparable to 4th in what you can do. There's always a little bit of a taking off, and sometimes you just need to start where the fun is at.
Yeah.
What are we doing for hit points? Are we rolling?
You just go. You can either roll or use average.
Oh. I just took the average.
Yeah, that's.
All right, I have made my guy a little bit creepier somehow by updating. I found out all the color tweaks you can do.
He not only stares at you while you sleep, he stares at your dick while you sleep.
Should we swing over and do another question?
Yeah.
All right. Our friend Tsunami Dragon asks, is this whole thing a lot of work, or is it more fun than work to keep this all going?
Both.
Yeah. Truly
work for them, fun for me.
Yeah.
Just imagine from Drew's point of view, wrangling all of us, particularly Bevan, especially Bevan. And then imagine our editor who has to then try and cut that into something legible. There you go. That's the work element of it. But, I've had real world jobs and they're not as fun.
I mean, there's also the aspect, some people ask, well, why don't you do this or why don't you do that? And it's like, we actually talk about doing a lot of things, but it's amazing how hard it is sometimes to be like, hey guys, you all want to do this. And people just go off on random tangents, like squirrels chasing, tinsel. We need a den mother.
There's also definitely some learning elements as we take on new things, like the Kickstarter for the comic books. That was, a ton of work for Steve and for John Luther Davis to draw the inserts and all that stuff. A&D Digicon 2020, that was a lot of work for us to prep the content and figure out how to stream and everything. So we love what we do, and that is an important thing, but it doesn't mean it doesn't take work to make it happen. It's just when you enjoy it, it's worth the effort.
It's like the more you do it, and the bigger it grows, the more work it becomes. But I mean, the joy really never comes out of it, and sometimes a surprise too. Because I mean, like think of like some of the people we've had on like as side quest guests. Now, like some of these people, I'm like, man, these people really shouldn't be talking to losers like us.
I have seen some very fun side quests when you're talking to someone. You're like, oh wow, you're existing in a kind of, I guess, world that is ridiculous fantasy to most of us. Like, you're 8 years old, and you're like, oh, I'd love to be the guy who voices the cartoon character. And then you put that dream aside because your dad looks at you disapprovingly. But then there are people out there doing it and crushing it. Yeah, it's good. It's fun to talk to those people.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of both involved. It's like it's a mix of work and I mean, here's the thing: if it wasn't fun, I'm not sure we would be doing this.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. We've had various projects through the years on our own that have not all gone through, and sometimes it's more work than you think it's going to be, and sometimes just you don't get as much joy as the work requires.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you get more joy. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. Whenever we're doing a mimic chest and the idea of like, hey, let's do an advice mimic chest comes up, my eyes light up because those are fun as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, really, you could kind of put it toward more than just the podcast, but, the job that we do, which is writing. It's sort of another one that, on one hand, yes, it is a lot of fun. We all got into writing before we were making money off of it because we clearly enjoyed it. But by the same token, that doesn't mean I don't wake up some weeks and it's not a real chore to do that job, even though I enjoy it. In a lot of aspects, like, it doesn't mean it's not work. And oftentimes the ability to do that job when you're not feeling it is what makes the difference of being able to survive off of it.
Yeah, there's an old saying about like, the man who can like make his hobby into a career will never do a hard day's work in his life, and that's 100% bullshit.
Yeah.
Because anything you love, the second it becomes a career, you can still love it, but there is work to make it happen, and sometimes that work is not always fun.
Yeah, and also, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. No, if you love what you do, you'll work all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all done our jobs for the day, and now it's evening, and for some of us it's the middle of the fucking night. And we're doing this because we do love it. But that doesn't mean that Steve's not paying the fucking price tomorrow.
He just has to tell everyone he's been out drinking. They'll respect that.
Takes a lot of effort. You make a lot of bad decisions, and then the next day, you've got to put it right.
Yeah.
It's a good analogy. I'll take it.
Yeah, and after a long day of writing, I mean, not to claim it's like digging a ditch like physically, but the mental toll that like that a long day of like writing or editing can hit you with, it's almost like sitting there all day, like pounding back shots of Jägermeister, except not as much fun.
Jesus.
I work as hard as a soldier.
Bob.
Wait, but he didn't say what kind of soldier.
He works as hard as a winter soldier when he's busy being frozen on ice.
Well, he's just casually hanging around while the whole One Division thing plays out. That's fair.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm sure y'all, audience members out there who wanted a CareGen session from us, this is what you're getting. You're not
Well,
seeing
it's both. It's questions
Yeah,
and
true.
characters.
Yep.
Yeah, because I'm the only one that didn't fucking make a character before.
I'm filling out. I'm filling out my character sheet. I am not even like. I haven't even chosen a fucking background yet.
I'm trying to figure out why
Whoa.
none of the fucking numbers are working on my character sheet. So yeah,
I was going to say, Joe, your character's a drug addict. Do you even need to remember a background?
Oh God! If it weren't so unbalanced, I would actually, and if it weren't a pain in the ass of numbers, could I have a different background every session depending on what he fucking remembers? It's totally mechanically broken, but it's hilarious.
I allowed a character like that in my last Pathfinder game, Strange Aeons, because he started off as an NPC who had been just experimented on too much in this asylum. So he was constantly remembering false memories, and like the character died, and he was like, "Can I take over that NPC?" And I was like, "Hey, go nuts, man!"
I mean, one way you could balance it theoretically is to make a table and then roll on it every time you wake up. That way,
Jesus, that is
it's
tempting.
not really beneficial. It's just sort of randomized. So you might get a useful skill. I mean, I would probably designate what your core skills are and then what your background skills are, and then, you could bounce it around. But that might add enough randomness to wash it out, depending on how it got set up and everything. If
It's a lot of numbers
kicks that
keeping,
around.
but it's a very funny thought.
Yeah, that is a lot of work. I'm not going to volunteer Rick for that. I'm just going to throw out a concept.
I was gonna say it's no work for me. It's more work for Joe to keep keep track of that shit.
I would. Well, I mean, like, it wouldn't be too bad as long as it was, because it's just a different background like every session. I mean, we can always decide if we want to do it when it comes time to play. But God, that's a funny idea.
One thing we should be figuring out during character creation. Do any of us know each other?
I'm down to know anybody.
My guy's been around a while. He might know someone.
I assume most people know of me.
my guy doesn't know shit.
My guy would definitely assume that people knew of him because he's been out of the game for a while. And he left the game at the top of it.
It's entirely possible that my fella does have prior relationships with everyone else, with other people, but whether he'd remember them.
Yeah, no, my guy kind of is a hermit, and he not so much a hermit, but he's been a solitary wanderer. So he doesn't know any of you fuckers.
I have had friends in the past, but I punched them all in the nuts. Now I have none.
Volunteers?
He might have had friends. I don't know. He couldn't see above their crotch. Those are probably the kind of jokes I shouldn't make around the ball punching gnome.
I'm not good with faces, but I am good with nutsacks. Oh, that'd be great. It's like, after years of training, as a crick in his neck, so he actually can't look up. That feels...
Jesus. Just got a fractured vertebrae. Every time he looks up, he pinches a nerve.
I think logistically, Joe, you and I could know each other, because it sounds like so John is on his own. Steve is an old retired badass, so he wouldn't really be walking around. Jorser is, of course, too famous. But you're a paladin, and I'm a robot who thinks he might be God. So that does feel like a stoned paladin and a robot dealing with some existential shit don't seem too far off.
That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing, especially if he's like trying to find something that could get you high.
yeah. You can unlock your godhood, Metallic Kazam. You just have to ascend your mind.
It just like everything Zam said just blows his mind. It's like, I often wonder when I pray if my God hears me. I can assure you, I do.
What?
like just all right. You've gotta stares at the wall for a minute. I'm sorry, what? I promise I won't do that every session. Just expand, tapping side of head, expand this. Can you do that? Do you need, like, a spanner to do that?
Just like picturing you like just pushing a weed brownie against my metal mouth.
Yeah, it soaks in, man. You gotta like get it in there, like massage. Yeah, I mean,
I guess I went and checked. So it says Warforged don't need to eat or drink, but it doesn't say I can't.
Cool.
It just has to be like a pipe that runs through it, right?
I don't need to hold my breath for 7 minutes, but, I probably should.
Oh, you could hotbox so great like that.
I reiterate, I cannot breathe.
Shit,
Rick, you're in charge of this roll 20, right?
Yep.
Why is my name Abro Piss Fag?
Was that your original name?
No, I don't even know what this means.
It assigns a random name when you create a character sheet. You have to change that.
Okay, I got it.
Sounds like a name that you would come up with.
Yeah, I'd love to say I was that clever, but
You would know the truth.
That's what the fuck?
Oh my god.
Nope, that's not working.
God damn, monks have a lot of fucking abilities.
Yeah, actually, so the background thing would not be hard to randomize because the only thing it would mechanically change for him each session is it would change two of his skills and 1 tool proficiency each session. So those would be all that actually changed.
all right.
I would just need to-
if you want to do that, just keep it just like on your character sheet in like roll 20. I would just say put your base skills and just keep a table off to the side of whatever pluses you have each day.
Yeah, I can do that. That'll be note. I will probably forget half the time, but
The fun part of that is actually background also can affect your languages.
oh shit, I love this.
Yeah.
There are going to be certain days when you just like speak Goblin, and then the next day you don't.
I did.
Whoa! What? Fuck
What?
you!
Oh man, never spoken to one
No, I
of
don't
those.
speak
before.
Goblin. What?
I don't speak Goblin. I've never spoke Goblin. What are you talking about? Don't fuck with me. Come on.
What's a goblin?
Oh shit, man! Metal guy, are you a goblin? Was I speaking your language? Were we like connecting?
Perhaps I am a godplin.
As then Jorster jumps in. I got something. You could be goblin.
Oh no.
That is.
Oh god, the ego would actually be a fun slant, but Metallic Kazam is going to be a lot weirder than that. But I'll meet the talking sword.
Okay, so here's my question for Rick. For finding good drugs in the wilderness, do I want nature or do I want medicine?
I don't know. Might be survival.
Oh, that's
I would
true.
honestly say
Probably.
survival.
All right, I'll take it.
Or our friend Kvel Bjorn says you are on your deathbed or with this group most likely on death row,
Jeez.
and are offered a final meal. What do you choose?
Not the Impossible Whopper.
Hell, I might go with that. Be like, they bring it over. No. You brought it to me. That makes it possible. Away with you.
Yeah, I would definitely be looking for something that's out of season and takes like weeks to prepare.
Blowfish. I want to try the blowfish that kills you instantly, because if there's ever a time in my life where I'm willing to fucking take that chance, why not right before death row?
That's pretty fucking valid. I mean,
I want fugu as prepared by the guy 2 doors down who brews his own toilet wine.
That's right. Shank Carl.
I want the children of whoever is pulling the lever on me.
eek.
Final request. You have to do it. You have to do it.
Probably just go with a regular Whopper, maybe 2. No, no point in counting calories now.
Okay, get me some barbecue sauce with that. Let's go mental.
Something that's just going to make me shit myself in the most spectacular fashion when I go out.
I was going to say, the beloved family pet of who's ever asking me.
You know, I think this may be the first time that I play a paladin with 0 ranks in religion.
Maximum ranks in weed.
I would like to throw the suggestion out there that he doesn't actually know who his god is.
Met him once, can't remember.
He just he had an experience one day. He imbibed an impossible combination of shrooms, and came out of it hearing a voice, hearing a calling, man.
Starting to see why you and Metallica Zam get along.
I gotta protect this shit. Just points at a pile of free buttons. I gotta protect this. It's important. I promise I won't just play Violent Gunther.
I almost really wish I had like a spell to purge poison or something out of you. I don't think I have that yet, but that would be a fun like red berserk button option of like, oh god, oh we're fucked, what do we do? Sober up the pala. Oh, I hate this.
Quick, make one of our characters competent. Emergency measures.
The paladin hates being sober.
Oh god,
than
it's
anything.
the worst. It's the worst.
Who took my weed?
I can't smell color, man. You know what it's like not being able to smell color?
Yeah, like, it ends in just a room covered in blood. Yeah, weed really mellows him out.
I gotta
Oh god, have your arch enemy like curse you with with slow poison and a permanence.
Oh, so we do have a question from the Discord that I think is one probably a lot of folks are wondering. How is the next issue of Chronicles of Calamity going? In terms of like a general us moving all that stuff. Because if y'all have not seen, the actual physical copies of Chronicles of Calamity have started arriving, and they look fucking awesome.
They really look great.
Yeah. From our friend the Ranger Man, by the way, that question.
Yes.
I haven't seen it. Is mine on the way still?
Yeah.
Are you lying? That sounds like a lie.
Yeah, no, I haven't gone to the post office, so...
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'm excited to have physical conventions back, just to be able to like have those out and share them, etc.
Yeah. So anyway, the question: how is the next issue coming?
The next issue for the Orphans and Dragons comic book, we're definitely gearing up to do another crowdfunder for that. Again, the actual artwork and story for issue 2 already exists, although, as we did with issue 1, we'll probably modify that before printing. And all we really have to do is kind of think of fun extras to include in the crowdfunder, as we did last time. Last time we had unique t-shirts and the ability to be drawn into the comic book. Not the ability, that makes it sound magical. The option to be drawn into the comic book as an NPC, which we'll probably be doing again, so there'll be a few slots for that. And just some fun extras that we're kicking around with. Original artwork is a given. So if
People
you
really liked...
Sorry, Rick, on you go.
Now, as I say, people really like those signed cards.
Oh yeah, the signed cards will definitely be doing something like that again with just some unique artwork postcards signed by the A&D crew. There'll definitely be original artwork, poster-sized ink works from JLD, hand-drawn. They snapped up pretty much instantly last time, so I'll give plenty of notice before the campaign goes live this time. And the other option we had last time that was really popular was just an original sketch original A&D character sketch by JLD that went out with the Fandango groupie tier, and they all turned out to be really awesome little sketches. So
Those things were amazing.
yeah. Well, there was so many just little fun things he did with the characters. They had a Brandon Firemaster post-fight with a kangaroo, which, you know, we didn't like say, look, John, we got a bunch of wacky ideas. It's like he's listened to the podcast, you know. He knows that people want to see Klaus being nearly eaten by bears. That's just, you know, he gets it. So all the really cool tiers from the last round we did it, they'll be coming back, definitely. But we're kind of racking our brains to maybe come up with some new shit this time. But please do stay tuned. It won't be too far off, but issue 2 will be another crowdfunding event. And hopefully we'll have something a little bit fun for you.
Awesome.
No date on that yet, but keep your ear to the ground.
No date, you piece of shit.
I like a bit of mystery, Drew. I think I've established this on the Brodio. Like to keep people guessing.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with me being massively disorganized. I like the mystery.
Yeah. That's it. Sure. 100% believe you, Steve.
Oh man, intimidation or persuasion?
You know,
I've got
Persuasion.
yeah,
You're too fucking stoned
the
to
character you're
intimidate.
Yeah.
pitching,
Yeah.
high people and intimidation are not a great combination.
No, man. This
Hey, man, hey.
is fine.
Could you please step out of the way so that we can safely pass you? Thank you very
It
much.
sounds like we're going to be a pretty persuasive and charismatic bunch. We might just be able to charm our way through this entire scenario.
Looking at other
Not
people and just like
so much.
you move and your twin brother move.
I think you're forgetting about Jorser the Sorcerer.
Just
I'm
ignore,
charismatic as fuck.
just
and
ignore
persuasive.
the angry gnome punching you in the testicles and listen to reason, man.
It's not that I'm angry. I've just been through some
What's-
shit.
That's just what I do.
I'm working through some shit, all right?
Good reasons. Yeah, I like reasons.
Oh, hey, what are we doing for equipment?
Oh yeah, good question.
A very good question.
So, hey, GM,
Yeah.
what are we doing for equipment? I mean, I'm a fucking monk, so I have a sack of money and nothing to spend it on, but
Like there's starting equipment, but are we doing more than that?
I only have, with my background, on top of the starting equipment, about 15 gold.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah,
Rick,
I'll-
page 38 of the DMG has a table apparently. I mean, when's the internet ever live?
oh, well, I mean, I guess it would.
Okay.
It could be something like maybe designing NPCs.
Normal starting equipment apparently for.
Oh, yep. Higher levels get that plus some gold. But we're still in the 1 to 4.
Okay, my character, Stan Dandyliver, gentleman bandit and professional folk hero, is more or less done. He's where I need him to be, which is a not particularly combat useful old man.
Let's see here. I am taking. Let me make sure I've got the right page open. I'm looking at feats. I am taking the Sentinel feat.
Oh, that's a good feat.
Yeah, it basically, if he hits someone with an opportunity attack, their movement drops to 0. So, your boy can basically trap them in their space when he gets an opportunity shot on them.
It's like when somebody corners you in the kitchen in a pie and just starts talking about the universe. He does that, but a combat equivalent of it.
And he's wearing a ferret costume.
Jesus, don't remind me of the fucking ferret man.
Oh God, not him. Oh, by the way, for like the starting a thing, looking at that table, I think it's fair to say with 4th level you'd start out with more. So take the basic equipment and give yourselves 300 extra gold pieces to spend.
Okay, cool.
Where do we put feats? on the character
On
sheet.
the end of your legs.
Hey.
What's that final question, Drew? Before we get any more of this shit.
One last question.
My
to,
question.
Yeah, fuck you.
That was legitimate.
That's pretty much what we said, Bob.
Final question for this one. Since next week is a side quest, because this is an interlude episode, do we want to take these characters out for a test drive next week?
Ooh, that sounds tempting.
I mean, we fucking built them, so...
Can Bevan find where his feet are supposed to go in time?
Oh, there's so much more I need to find.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, wow, you just put me on the spot there.
I was gonna say, if we're not ready, we can always just cut this part.
Nah, fuck it.
I mean, are we
guys.
talking actually start or
Okay.
You could probably just spend 45 minutes meeting in a tavern. I'm confident in our ability to procrastinate.
It's a limited run game, so we're only gonna try, I think, a few at a time or whatever. So, I
Consider the fact that I'm gonna have trouble getting out sentences sometimes. It's just.
And I'm going to have
What?
trouble getting into chairs.
I could spend 45 minutes sorcering alone.
Wow.
and that's not even saying how many minutes you can spend jorsering.
Oh, God. I don't want to know what it is.
No,
no one does.
You've met the sorcerer. Now meet the jorcerer.
I feel like that's gonna get used. God. Oh,
Doom.
I mean, if not next week, maybe the one after if we need more time. But this. I'm pretty excited. This seems fun.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to punching some people in the balls.
See where we go with it.
I'm looking forward to being a very composed sorcerer who occasionally screams random shit.
I gotta do a bunch of drug research.
The fucking horror,
Joe.
man. The fucking horror.
Oh, you and your legal weed state.
No, actually, I'm not going to do a bunch of weed because I learned in a previous experience that me and actual weed is not a good idea.
Well, we've got the rest of the podcast to find out if that's true or not, Jeff.
Wait a minute. Hang on, Joe.
where the
Your
fuck was
negative
I during
experience is
Carolina?
you ate too much edible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
that was-
I was just high with
That's
Joe.
everybody.
I don't know
That's
where
like
you
a weed
motherfuckers were.
The night that I took that weed. Did I tell you guys what happened to me later that night?
No.
Oh,
Don't
Jesus.
think so.
Okay. I went back to my room, and I was getting ready to go to bed and everything, and I didn't feel much. Like I thought, like I know I was kind of melting into the bed before I left, but I wasn't feeling particularly any different than just tired. And so I laid down in bed, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to bed now. And I turned off my light, and I laid down, and I had the experience of falling into an enclosed box with transparent windows and was surrounded by disembodied, screaming, gray, fleshy monsters.
Oh, nice.
I then
That's why we tell everybody not to start with edibles, Joe.
I surged awake and screamed. And then I was like, I'm sitting there in bed going like, okay, it's fine, I'm fine. And I laid back down, I closed my eyes. Oh shit, they're back. So I ended up deciding after like 10 minutes of this that I was just gonna stay awake for a while and, ride it out or whatever and not try to go to bed. And eventually I laid back down, and I turned off my light, and the monsters didn't come back. However, what did happen is I became convinced that the light on the power strip in the corner of the room was the fucking Eye of Sauron.
I don't know it wasn't.
And I was terrified of that light. So for the next 3 hours...
Going down the escalator feels pretty tame now.
Yeah, that was my weed experience. And then I found out afterwards, it was after this that I found out that apparently if you have a family history of schizophrenia, a lot of weed use can actually activate that.
Oh,
And I do.
Okay, that's a good reason to skip the weed.
I do have a family. Yeah, I do have a family history of schizophrenia, so not a good reason. So I probably shouldn't. I probably shouldn't mess around with hallucinogenics or even like tame drugs that much.
Medicinal cocaine only, buddy. Medicinal cocaine only.
Although I gotta say, if you had woken up trying to flush all of your stuff down the toilet, because I must destroy the One Ring. That would have been great.
Yeah, I was like, you got a much higher dose than
I know.
we
Jesus Christ, we thought we thought like drunken Bob Batman was the interesting thing going on. In the meantime, you got that whole Fellowship of the Ring going on in your room, and
It was Frodo on top of it. It was literally like I laid there in bed. I turned off the light and I looked at the power strip in the corner and it was like, Grah! I was at the fucking prancing pony with the ring on. It was not good.
Well, we'll see if I guess our next session with our characters is as weird as Joe's dream, because honestly, that's a high fucking bar at this point. Jesus Christ.
yeah, I know.
no shit.
But I guess we'll find out together on our next side quest with Authors and Dragons. Until then, bye.
Bye.